Yo, 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 what up, Collin?
What's up?
We are here, episode 28 of Heckin Cool Dads. You brought us random sodas again.
Yeah. Well, I did. There's 2 bottles of Dad's root beer in there, which is the shit. I don't know if you've ever had Dad's root beer.
I don't fuck with root beer.
You don't?
Root beer's gross.
Oh, fuck you. Well, there's one of those bubble ups in there.
I'll fuck with that because I didn't drink it last week.
Dude, you don't fuck with root beer?
Nope.
Weird.
Kyle does. I don't know why. I've never liked it. There's other fucking other drinks that I don't like too. I can't remember what all of them are right now, but Dr. Pepper. That's another one I don't really fuck with.
I like Dr. Pepper.
I remember we went to like Wendy's or something one time, and I don't know why I was in dire need of a drink. I was like, oh shit, I need a drink. And I grabbed somebody's drink and it was fucking Dr. Pepper. And I was like, oh my God, that's disgusting. I need something else. I set it down and grabbed the next person's drink and it was fucking root beer. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm done.
So this is new grape.
Ooh.
And I got it just because it said new grape. Like,
and it's spelled N-U.
N-U.
Like
and then it says a flavor you can't forget. And it smells like melted popsicles.
It smells like those flavor ice.
Yeah.
The fucking ones that everybody has that start out as liquid, then you freeze them.
It also doesn't seem too carbonated.
Mm-mm. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, that's not bad. I like that.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it seems for having the tagline "a flavor you can't forget." It
seems forgettable.
Seems like your typical grape soda.
Hella forgettable.
Made with real sugar though.
Can't go wrong with that. So, I just got back from. You were picking these up from the local market.
Yeah.
And usually I don't meet you at that local market.
So I got there and went inside and found some sodas and came back out and went to turn my Jeep on and nothing. You know, last night we were putting the hard top on it, which was probably hilarious to watch us try to get the hard top around the side of my house in the dark. So fucking the weight distribution on those things when they're on their side is the weirdest. Anyway, put that on and started up to back it or to straighten it out in the driveway. And my best friend was like, yeah, you feel that hesitate? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you're probably have to get a new battery soon. And then as I left tonight, it was a little bit too, and then nothing.
Dude, I think you have more car problems than I do.
It's because my last name is Simula.
Is that synonymous?
My dad has car problems like crazy. My mom has car problems. My brother has car. It's just a curse on the family name.
It could be. I just don't know. Because like I've said before, I've never met my dad. So he might have really fucking bad car luck. And then my mom has never driven a day in her life. Ever.
Yeah,
she bought that house, because of all the buses and shit.
But yeah, so it's sitting there. Hopefully we'll get to jump it afterwards. But now I got to think about what's going to happen in the morning.
It's surprising that you don't have jumper cables.
I do. I just...
not in your car where they typically are needed?
Correct.
Right.
We have them in the back of our Pilot. I do need to get a pair or a set for my Jeep, though.
I'm actually not confident the ones that I have have ever been used. Like, I think I picked them up on a whim. Like, you know who has car problems? Me. You know who probably needs these? Me.
Yeah.
And 5 years later, still don't need them.
But, yeah, so it's going to be another $150 I don't need to spend. Batteries are really expensive.
Yeah, but, I mean, I've changed a lot of parts of cars, like, in my life. I've only changed the battery in this car. I don't think I've ever had another car that made it long enough to need a new battery.
Let me rephrase. It's money that I don't need to be spending right now.
Okay, fair enough.
In my current situation. Oh, boy.
So I know that after we recorded last week, I had said something like, oh, you know what we should do? I wanted to talk about, and I never got a chance to, is that fucking one chip challenge.
Yeah, and then you said that we were going to do it, and then what do I see on Instagram? What do I see on Instagram?
You see that I did it. Here's why. I only came to know about this thing because my coworker gets to talking about it one day and goes, by the way, I ordered us some chips. And I was like, for what? And it turns out he ordered chips for the fucking one chip challenge, which so since that happened, a lot of things have come to light. One, everybody kept going, oh my God, where'd you find the chips? They were sold out. And I'm like, I know nothing about that. So I go to the website. They are actually sold out. So I asked them.
Because it's like a meme. It's like a thing.
Yeah, it's like the one chip challenge. And we got the new chips too. They're I think the old chips were red and like the new chips are black. So it's like I don't know if I know they start with a blue like corn tortilla chip or whatever. I don't know if the old ones did or not, but long story short, he said he paid $23 a piece for these chips.
Jeez.
And I was like, oh wow, they're really fucking taking advantage of like the viral meme-ness of this. And then I see on the website they're like $7. So what happened was they did sell out and he must have bought them from a reseller. So it made more sense. And then I, in preparation for it, I mean, I like spicy stuff. I always get like typically the hottest, salsas that they have and shit like that when we go to get tacos and, all that bullshit. But I've never done anything that was novelty like that. I've never done any of the wing challenges that are like, the Blazing or like the Atomic, or I've never done any of those. So the past week I was like, damn, I really need to up my spice game. I went to fucking World Market and I picked up a sauce, which, through a quick Google, I thought was like a way higher Scoville. And then I got it home and I was like, I re-Googled it again because I tasted it like, man, that is nothing.
You got some coward shit?
I got some bullshit. I got some shit that was like less hot than Cholula. But the problem is that they sell it like in a spice, like an actual shake spice, a dry rub.
Yeah.
And they sell it in a sauce. The sauce is nothing. Apparently the actual spice is like 50,000 Scoville. So that's what I thought I was getting with a quick Google. It's not. So
who's the Scoville guy?
Well, I mean, I don't know. That's the fucking.
I'm sure it's a guy. I'm sure it's the guy who like discovered the science of
how to measure
peppers.
hot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the units seem weirdly arbitrary. Like, why is it thousands? Why can't it be like 5 Scoville?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this one is 0.005 Scoville and it goes all the way up to like 10 or something like that. Why is it like, it's like the Japanese yen. Like, well, it's like 5,000 yen is just like a few bucks or something, right?
Yeah, okay. So I'll play devil's advocate here. So definitely peppers did not used to be this fucking hot. So maybe it was a more realistic scale at one time.
It's like 300.
Yeah, exactly. And then they were like, you know what we could do? We could make a fucking hotter pepper. And then we're like, oh fuck, we're kind of stuck with this scale now. So this one is 50,000. It's like, all right, it's still reasonable. Now, like, there's some of those challenges because everybody made me aware of all the challenges after I posted that fucking thing that I did it. Everybody made me aware of all these challenges. Like, there's one called the Toe of Satan. It's 13 million Scoville. And just to put that in perspective, the chip I did was just under 2 million.
I like spicy stuff and I like extra spice. Like the idea of the one chip challenge is fun to me. I like burning up, like,
yeah,
to be, like in a certain situation, but like all of these challenges or it's like what's the line between like masochism and like having fun with spicy stuff? Like there's like 13 million, like there's a point where you're just punishing yourself.
But are you? See, that is exactly what it is. It's a challenge, right? Like, it wouldn't be called a challenge if it was fucking easy.
Right, I guess.
So they're expecting these to be harder. I also watched this guy do the challenge. I mean, seemingly didn't bother him at all. First of all, my fucking coworker, she didn't move, didn't make a face, didn't do shit. She's former Air Force, and she goes, yeah, so after this, I'll show you the video of me being tear gassed for 10 minutes. And I was like, oh, you shouldn't have been part of this.
Oh, yep. There it is.
So she didn't fucking move. So clearly she won. But I watched this guy. He ate, it was like 13 or 14 Carolina Reaper peppers, which are what make up the spice that's on the chip. Mm-hmm. Hottest pepper in the world. And that dude vomited profusely. And he's not the world record holder. The world record holder ate 120 grams of peppers, which probably amounted to like 30 of them.
That's a lot.
Yeah. This dude ate 69, and it was like 13 or 14. Yeah. That was his official grams. And he ate, I don't know. Like I said, he fucking vomited profusely. It's something I never want to do. I don't even want to eat the pepper. I don't want to do the toast. I don't want to do shit. The chip is like, it's fine. It was agonizing. It sucked.
It's interesting seeing you with such a curved bill.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I don't have, this is the only dad hat I have, right? And it's a fucking Champion. Is it weird to anybody but me? Like, somehow I've bought into that. Like, fuck it, let's wear Champion again.
Yeah, you know, I was down in at my father-in-law's house in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and that's where Hanes is based, and Hanes owns Champion. Yeah. And we were in like one of the Hanes stores, like the outlet stores or whatever, and they have like a whole like Champion section. And there was like wild stuff, like where like the logo's giant and it's like a applique that's like half off the edge, and like it was like weird, like high end streetwear kind of stuff. It was really interesting.
Happened.
I didn't know that about Champion.
Yeah, they came back. Like I'd say it was probably about 2017. It just started creeping back in, and I just started seeing people wear Champion. I'm like, man, this is crazy, because we were coming off of that streetwear trend where, you know, a t-shirt would cost you $50-$60 for like a Crooks and Castles or Diamond Supply or something. We were coming off of that into Champion, and everybody that was wearing that's now wearing Champion. But at that time, there was still this weird crossover where Champion was still sold at like Meijer, and it was still $12 for a crew neck and
Isn't
shit
it
like
still
that.
Like at Target?
I don't know if it's at Target. Oh. Maybe. I think it's actually still at Meijer. And but it's not fucking $12 a crew neck anymore. It's like $40. Like I don't know what happened to push that, but out of nowhere, shit just started coming back. But yeah, I have a fucking Champion dad hat.
It's interesting. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's
for no reason.
Because normally your hats are taller and flatter.
Taller and flatter.
But taller and then flatter.
And the bill, the brim is flatter. All my snapbacks. Yeah. Anyway, I saw that you you put something on the fucking
so we were in the
board.
We were in the car today, and I just had to tell this is a very quick story. We're in the car today, and it was just Sierra and Beatrice and I, and you know, B is 7 and in 2nd grade. Out of nowhere, she goes, "Dad, I have a question." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "Does anybody listen to your podcast?"
Oh shit.
We weren't talking about it. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just like and like she set it up. Like, I have a question. Like when the kids say that, usually is like a really inquisitive thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, good question. I was like, at least a couple or at least a handful. It was just really funny.
I mean, we definitely have, we have our listeners that have subscribed on various platforms. And I can always tell, because when the podcast goes live, we get this like huge spike of downloads, and I'm assuming those are auto downloads from whatever app or media platform they're following on, and so we get this huge spike, and then you see these ones just like it's just plays just trickle in for like the next week until we do another one.
Weird.
And I'm like, I wonder how these other people are discovering it, because I do zero, advertising, zero. I don't really do shit anymore. I just kind of fucking come here, have fun, drink beer or soda or whatever we're drinking at the time, and then we talk about a bunch of random shit, and I go home.
Got him.
Hey. Killing bugs.
But I will say that certain, for instance, a few weeks ago, I talked about Mike Lair.
Yeah.
And his snaps to me. And those snaps resumed. He goes, "I heard you on the podcast, and here you go." Brap.
Nice.
So those have resumed.
I wonder if somebody, or if that, I wonder how he found out about it, because I'm pretty sure he followed on the Podbean platform, and it's interesting, like, to see which one of our friends find out about it, which method, right? And where I'm going with this is, like, on Podbean, you can create an account and subscribe, and I've seen like at least like five or more people that I know are friends that have subscribed, and we're the only podcast they follow. So I'm like, okay, they created an account to listen to this, which is cool. Thank you for supporting that. But the shit is on all the other ones. You don't have to create an account on Podbean.
So that Dr. Bird's song, that Griselda track.
Oh, yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So we got on Friday the first single from the Griselda collab record that's coming out on Shady next month.
Which I don't know why it was so hard to find that. Like,
Yeah, it was weird.
it was weird to find. Like, I read a thing about it and was like, oh, I'm gonna go listen to this. And I searched it and couldn't find it.
I had to find the Spotify link through an embed in an article. On
I
Pitchfork.
guarantee that's the same one. That's
Yeah.
the same one I found.
And then from there, I like shared the link with
Yep.
a couple friends, and then I had it.
Yeah,
But,
that's super weird.
wonder
Wonder why the fuck
the
it was,
beat is awesome.
Oh,
The
very.
kick drum is like so low, and oh, dude, it's great. I can't wait to hear more.
It is extremely New York.
Yeah, and on Halloween, West Side Gun's putting out his next mixtape. These guys,
I did not catch that.
these guys, and on Friday, that Smoke Dizzo rapper
Yeah.
put out a collab EP, 6 songs with Benny. Conway's in one song.
Yep.
West Side Gun's in another song, and that thing slaps or bangs or whatever you want to call it too. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like these guys are just living in the studio and just shitting out gold.
But they've got all the hype right now. That's kind of what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like you can't have the hype and just think you're going to just tour off that same shit. Like you got to, and we're also living in the age where like it's digital media. So from the time
So
they
fast.
record it, they can upload that shit hours later. So
Yeah.
people have that expectation.
And it hits hard, gets a lot of hype, and that hype is gone
It's
in
gone.
a quarter of the time.
Yeah.
A fraction of the time.
Yep. So you got to keep on just pumping shit out. I wonder these artists, these like, you know, Conway and folk, like I wonder how much shit they just have in the backlog for like if the motherfuckers get writer's block or something, they can just pull something out the archive. Because that used to be the shit back in the day. You know, you'd go in and you'd record an album and you'd keep 2 or 3 tracks back. Maybe 1 was good, 2 just were okay, and then later down the road do something and release a B-side or release like a new single. I mean, that's how you keep your hype train rolling. To go back to what you were saying about B asking did anybody listen to it, it's funny because I've actually caught my kid listening to it before.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Because I told you, I'm not the one he listens to uncensored music.
Yeah, you're right.
So like, I do tell him not to, but I've caught him listen to it as well. So and he really, really wants to come here and like be on the podcast. So I was like, maybe we could do that.
What
maybe
if he did that? What if he did it and like I had my boys on too, and but we just like pixelated their faces and pushed their voices down like this when they talk.
Well,
I guess they all have YouTubes.
Do they? Oh, we talked about this. They have it, but do they have any videos?
No, but I forgot that
What do you hear?
was that next door.
I don't know. Who cares? We're just keep
I forgot
rolling.
that your boy is very online.
He is, but he doesn't actually have any videos. Like the only videos he's
Oh,
recorded,
he hasn't published any yet?
Nah, the only ones are on my computer still because we didn't stream them. We just did we did recording.
I see.
So he's like perfecting his craft.
Wow.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
have you guys had parent teacher conferences yet?
I blew it off by accident.
Okay.
I
Hey man, me too. Half. So go on.
We haven't, the younger kids at the elementary school haven't been scheduled yet, but Rowan's in the middle school I scheduled it during the open house or whatever, and then I ended up having to take that business trip a couple weeks ago, and I totally forgot about it till that day. I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to be at conferences tonight, but I was in Milwaukee. So
Got it. So I went to Hayden's. My wife set everything up, sent me the screenshot, put it on the calendar, told me, the whole thing, right? I go, and as I pull up, I'm like, man, school is still in. This is weird. Like, school is still in. I wonder, is it really supposed to be 3:30? So I send her, or I call her real quick. She's like, yeah, it's 3:30. All right, cool. I go in. I have the conference. I get out 10 minutes later. Go home, right? So I'm going to tell 2 parts of the story. One, she just gushed about his writing the whole time. Seriously. She's like, your kid is the fucking best. And it was just nothing but compliments about how his writing is amazing. And like how she just wants to take pictures of it and share it online all day. I'll cut his name out. I'm like, all right, cool. Do whatever. So I'm reading his story, and it's like, it's supposed to be like an introspective thing about like how has your writing changed over the past year or whatever. So, been over 4th grade. And he's like, he wrote some long ass story. I'll butcher it, but it was something like, I would have said Jimmy ate some bananas. Now I say Jimmy grabbed the delicious boomerang of fruit and ravenously, like he fucking went into something. I was like, oh my God, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, kid. Anyway, so you said you missed it by accident. So I left, right? Because my stomach was in complete disarray from the chip challenge the day before. And
That's some good dad shit right there.
yeah, my stomach was in disarray. And I was like, all right, I'm out. I go home and she goes, so how was the second teacher? And I'm like, fuck you talking about? Like, you sent me a screenshot. It had the room number and it had the time. And the time was from 3:30 to 3:40. There was no second anything. There was nothing mentioned anywhere. She's like, yeah, he has 2 teachers. Like, you got to go to both. I'm like, all right, fine. I should have known that. But still, like, how you going to set me up like that? She's like, she set me up by not giving me the information. Then I got in trouble. So she went back to the second one and I stayed at home where I could just, let my chip out.
Let your chip out.
Let my chip out. It almost killed my coworker.
Hilarious.
I mean, quite literally, almost killed him. Like, we were going to call the squad.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. See, now you're taking it serious. Now that you're like, damn, he's not joking. Yeah. So there were 6 of us that did it. He was one of 3 who held out the longest, right? Everything was good. He's going, he's chilling, he's eating some ice cream. And then one of the other coworkers comes out of our bathroom and goes, hey, I'm not trying to blow his shit up or anything, but he's on the floor in there. And I was like, oh, word? So I walked in and I go check on him. And he's like, breathing real hard. And it hit him real hard. So I don't know. He was fine, like in the mouth and everything, but like it hit him in his stomach. He's like, it's a pain and a cramping I've never felt in my life. And we were like, all right, dude. Try drinking this water. And he couldn't grip the water. Like his hand physically wouldn't grip the water. And he was on the floor. And we told him like 5 more minutes and we're calling the squad. Like we literally have a squad next door. 5 more minutes. If you can't and you're still in this shape, because it was bad. We just had a constant rotation of people in there checking on him. So that's the type of bullshit we're doing at work.
That's crazy.
So I'm still going to get you one.
I got to try this.
Yeah, I'm still going to get you one.
Speaking of almost dying, I went to a child's birthday party yesterday with my children, not just by myself.
Showed up drunk.
At Get Air.
Oh my God, funnest place in the city.
Dude, 15 minutes in, I literally felt like I was going to keel over and die.
We talked about that once before because I took Hayden.
Dude.
What all did you do? Did you just jump?
We were just jumping, and I did some of those jumping into the foam pits, and that shit is really hard to get out of.
It is.
And that like I feel it in my back and my neck and my stomach today. I woke up with a splitting headache this morning. I don't know if that was if I gave myself whiplash or some shit. But that's a thing.
No.
My little brother gave himself whiplash as a kid.
Just jumping on a trampoline?
No, we were chasing each other around the room. He was like 5 years old and he jumped from one lazy boy to the other lazy boy, whipped his head back. He had to wear a neck brace for like a month and a half.
Now, this is going to sound like
But the doctor literally said it was whiplash.
Well, this is going to sound like a dumb fucking question, I'm sure, but how the fuck do you test for whiplash?
I don't know.
So that's what I mean. Like, how the fuck do you test for whiplash?
Also, if I woke up with a headache, it wouldn't be whiplash. It would be shaken baby syndrome. But, because that's what that is. It's your brain whipping around
knocking
inside your
knocking on the walls.
I guarantee we were 10 minutes away from music blasting through this wall right here.
That's all right. We're 24 minutes in. Ish. No, Get Air is really cool. So I like the, there's that section where you can like basically run and jump out and grab onto, I don't know, hanging net things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, did you do that shit?
Yeah.
Dude, I did all that. And in the back.
I'm trying to do the slack line. Shit's funny.
And in the back, there's like Ninja Warrior style shit where you like, it's like the monkey bars, but they go upward and shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was, I did it. And then right after I did it and it like hit really hard. Mm-hmm. And somebody who worked there was like, oh, no one's supposed to be using that. It's broken right now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's cool. We actually have right up by my building. We have a real Ninja Warrior gym. So really? Yeah, the whatever her name is, Michelle
Obama.
No, God damn it, she's not a Ninja Warrior.
She's got muscly arms.
Does she? Why do I have no idea what her arms look like? Why do you know what her arms look like?
Because that was always a thing. Like all the Republicans were so mad all the time because she needed to show decorum because she always wore sleeveless dresses and shit like that. And now they don't give a fuck.
Oh my God.
The first lady has done pornography. So
went for it. Man, we should just go back to the one chip challengers. Because if you get us on politics, we'll be here for.
I'm not getting on politics.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to talk about politically this week because we're all being inundated with it 24/7, and it seems that everybody's starting to kind of fall out of love with this guy.
You think so?
Yeah, he's really shitting the bed right now with this foreign policy stuff, but not many people are happy with him with his moves in Syria.
Specifically that
they're not
piece.
His supporters are not being very loud about it, but they are. There's a lot of. It seems that the dam is starting to break a little bit. Oh, Dad's root beer. Now this. It bums me out that you don't like root beer, honestly, because like Dad's is like the shit.
It's that shit. I've heard that. One time for, I don't know if it was like a birthday or something for Kyle, because Kyle's a big root beer guy. I bought all kinds of fancy root beers. Like I want to say like maybe I ordered them offline or something. Like ones you can't get anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm drawing a blank as to what I got, but it was a bunch of fancy shit. I think the website was called like the Soda Pop Shop. Some shit like that. Got them from all over the place. And I know when we would go to maybe the fair, they have like that root beer truck where it's like old fashioned root beer.
Yeah. Like with like it looks like it's barrels.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
This is like those little candies, the little root beer barrel candies.
Yeah, those suck too.
Fuck off, man.
Dude. Those are fucking garbage.
Oh man. I love this. I love it.
Do you like those little candies that come that look like they're wrapped up in strawberries?
Yeah.
What are those called?
I don't know.
See? Nobody fucking knows what those are called. That's a thing. Like, we all know exactly. I said the little candy wrapped up like strawberry. You're like, yeah, I know exactly what that is. I've never met a person that knows what those are
Also,
called.
where do they come from?
Nobody knows. I couldn't even fucking tell you where to buy those.
Weird.
I would assume the dollar store.
You never really think about that, like the bat part where they come from. Like how did they end up like in my Christmas candy or whatever? You know what I mean? Like
Well,
how did they end up
I feel
there?
like it was some kind of fucking secret thing that grandmas knew about that no one else knew about. They
That,
passed
like
it.
a craft store, like
Yeah.
Joann Fabrics or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah, it's in the checkout line. It's an impulse buy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that shit.
Weird.
So I'm thinking about getting my kid a cell phone.
I told you that we were doing that.
No, did you?
Didn't I? I thought we talked about this last week.
Oh, we might have. I know we talked about like Gizmo Pal watches and shit.
Yeah. Go on. Because I'll chime in.
Okay, mine is for a complete bullshit reason. I mean, he's with the Gizmo Pal, he basically already has a cell phone, right? It's like, I thought that was going to be some kind of interim step. It was like, oh, let's make sure that you're responsible enough and yada, yada. But it's like always on his wrist. So he can't really lose it. So it's not like it teaches him to not misplace his phone or get his phone stolen or to not go over data or some weird shit like that. It doesn't really, when I thought about it later, I'm like, it doesn't really teach shit. So I was thinking about getting a phone, but what I'm waiting on now, I really, really need to buy my mom a new cell phone. And I said, well, before I buy my mom a new cell phone, let me wait, because they always have those deals. It's like buy a phone, get a phone free, but one phone has to be a newly activated line. So buy him a phone, newly activated line, get my mom a free phone, and then I get out of half and pay like, $1,000 for a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you getting your kid phone?
It's just one of those things where, I don't know. It seems wild to me that an 11-year-old would have a phone. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But literally every kid his age at his school has one. And so
they take him to school though?
No, they're not allowed to.
Okay.
But like, it's super weird because, I don't know. He's 11 years old.
Yeah.
Like he still like cries about shit,
Mine's at home crying right now.
To be fair, I cry about stuff, but it's one of those things where we're just doing it partly because it's just the norm and don't want him to be that kid. You know what I mean? But Sierra got a new phone and she still had an iPhone 8, so it's still good. And but we're just doing it, and we're gonna give Miles the gizmo.
Oh, okay. So I thought all your kids had those gizmo things.
No. So we're waiting for the SIM card to come, and then.
Damn! Look at that.
I don't know.
Flexing
I feel
on
weird.
them.
I feel weird about it personally, but I know it's.
Was this decision made by the real boss?
Ooh, no! I was part of the decision.
Okay.
It's just weird. It's just one of those things. It's weird. You know, you know what I mean? Like every time you think like, oh, I finally got this, then there's like a new parenting challenge where it's like, well, I've never experienced this before. What am I going to do with this? Do you have that?
I feel like I am so close to like puberty with this kid.
Yeah, us too.
Like that, it terrifies me. That's the one that just fucking terrifies me. Like he had 2 pimples, and I was like, oh my god, that's the equivalent of like a warning shot. You know what I mean? So, speaking of kid, so he had state finals today for cross country. So their team, I guess, was actually, I mean, their team's really good. They've got some fucking beasts on there, and I'm starting to realize now, like maybe their team is good, and the whole time I've been like, holy shit, do you know what these kids are running? It's because that team is that good. I still don't know that all 8-year-olds are running like fucking 6-minute miles. Like
Crazy.
That blows my fucking mind to think about. But anyway, their team went to state finals. I did not make it out today rather. His grandparents took him, and my wife ran the Columbus Marathon today.
Mm-hmm.
I actually did make it out to right around like mile 18 point whatever, like right between 18 and 19. I made it out, and she requested that I bring her a black tea lemonade from Starbucks and a cake pop. So that's what I did. So I showed up, brought her that, so she had some fucking calories to run. You know, that's a thing, right? Like runners, especially marathoners, they keep like all kinds of snacks and pouches and shit on them because they need constant sugar and carbs and salt and electrolytes and all that shit to run, or else your body, like, because I think there's an actual, you know, like mile 20 or something like that is like when your natural reserve of this shit is all used up.
That's crazy.
So you got to fucking be shoving that shit in there. But she forgot all hers in the car. So she's like, if you're going to be at 18, do you think you could bring me a cake pop?
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just like running.
Oh, yeah. She saw me. She came over, and I put a straw in the black tea lemonade. You know how like the Starbucks cups, they have like mouthpieces now? I put the fucking straw in there. I already knew ahead of time. She came over and like 4 drinks, drank the whole drink, grabbed the cake pop, gave Eloise a kiss, and was like, all right, love you, bye. Like kept going. Finished the marathon.
What is do you fuck with The Office?
Not really.
No.
Something about that humor just never.
We have it on basically all the time at home. Like we just like
except for Wayne's World.
It just like starts, and then we go through the season, through all 7 seasons or whatever, and then start over. Just good, easy watching. And there's a one where Michael Scott is running a marathon, and he thinks he has to carb up. So like right before he runs the race, he eats like all this like fettuccine Alfredo and stuff like that. Like just ridiculous. So
that's real. He just missed it by like a day or 2. Like he should have did it.
Yeah.
Like she carved up on like Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
So Hayden's grandparents were like, oh, should I have him eat a bunch of carbs or what should I do? And I was like, he's running 2 miles. Like it's a normal dinner would be just fine. He gets home, comes in, and he's like, I don't feel well. I need to lay down. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm not going to let you sleep all day and fuck your whole schedule up, but you can take like a little 2-hour nap or whatever. Takes a nap, wakes up, and I said, do you want Chipotle or anything? Because my wife was like, post-marathon, she needs to eat. I'm like, oh, I'll grab Chipotle before I go to the podcast. He goes, no, I don't want Chipotle. I'm like, man, you really don't feel well. So it's the first time he stayed at his grandparents' in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what all did you eat while you were there? I have a feeling, I was just like, I have a feeling that it wasn't the best shit. He's like, well, you mean today? I'm like, yeah, what'd you eat today? What'd you have for breakfast? Well, I had bacon and 2 slices of toast. I'm like, okay, so it's not too bad, right? I'm like, what about yesterday? Do you have any candy? He was like, well, some. Do you have any cookies? Yeah. Okay. I know that you got gum. You got that bubble tape. Oh, I chewed all of that. I'm like, that's like a week's supply of bubble tape. So you chewed a week's supply of bubble tape, ate candy, cookies. I'm like, what'd you have for dinner? Pizza. Okay. And today you just had a shit ton of bacon, some cookies, and bread. So yeah, you probably do feel like shit. Like those are all things just high in salt.
Yeah.
Like pizza fucking dehydrates me. Every time that we have a pizza night, I wake up in the middle of the night like, ugh, I need to drink something. Go downstairs and just chug a whole cup of water or whatever. You want to do something different?
Sure.
We don't usually do trivial things that bother us in the middle. But I was on my way here today and something was really bothering me. So I was like, oh, I'm going to put that on. So I did.
And?
Light bulbs that are different colors in the same room.
Oh, man.
It drives me nuts. And I deal with this. I'm not going to lie and say daily. I deal with it in my bathroom when I shower, which isn't daily. I'm not a daily shower.
No, me either.
But the one that's over our bathtub, or our shower rather, is like a brighter light. You know, it's like closer to that daylight. And then the 4 that are over the sink are not. So anytime it's on, it fucking aggravates the shit out of me. And
brightness doesn't bother me so much as the temperature.
That's what I mean.
Like
it is
cool versus warm.
Yeah. So like we've talked about this before, like the Kelvin or whatever. So warm is like 3,500. Bright white, quote unquote, is somewhere around 4,500, and then 5,500 and up, I think, is daylight. The one that's in the bathtub is like, you know, it's that 5,500 like daylight.
It's supposed to look like daylight.
It is. And then the other ones are like 35. So it is drastically different. And I noticed today when I was driving here, the traffic light, the 2 greens were different. And I was like, why? Like, why the fuck? Ain't that the same fucking traffic light? Like, what are they doing? So that's my trivial thing.
I got those daylight light bulbs because I thought it sounded interesting, because I really like daylight in the house. Like I really like opening all the windows and just getting tons of natural light. So I thought that sounded interesting because they like said like it's like natural light, and I put them all in my kitchen. I turned them on. I was like, nope. As soon as I turned them on, I was like, no way. Like I hated how it looked. It just looked weird and almost like
a hospital.
Fluorescent lights. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. One of my old departments I was at, that was like a big initiative, is to change all the lights to the more daylight. I came in from outside, walked into that. Well, no, excuse me. I walked into the main hall first. The main hall hadn't been changed over yet. So it was the warmer kind of fluorescent look. I walked in my department and was like, what the fuck? They had changed all the bulbs, and it was giving people headaches going between the two. Like they'd walk out to go to the bathroom, come back in, and they would like fuck them up. So people were actually going home. I like it at my house, but I don't do the daylight ones. I do the bright white. So I need it to be bright as fuck, but not quite daylight, because it really is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's super weird.
I have a trivial thing.
Hit me.
People who walk their dogs while riding their bike.
No shit.
I hate that. It's like, you're making him walk. You fucking get up and walk. Or people who walk their dogs like with their arm hanging out the car. Have you seen that?
Holy shit. No, I've never seen that.
Walk down the fucking street.
Okay.
I just can't imagine. You can't ride fast on a bike when you're walking a dog, right? So it just
depends on the size of the dog.
But it's a lot of this, like, you know, like trying to keep the bike up because you're going so goddamn slow.
There is a maybe I have a slightly.
I see it in UA all the time, and it drives me crazy.
I have a slightly biased opinion because I do see this every day.
I have a slightly biased opinion because I walk my dog on my bike. Is that
no, I don't walk my dogs. Fuck those things. They walk all day around the house. We take them outside. No, there's a kid in my neighborhood. He's probably maybe a year, maybe 2 years older than Hayden. And every single day he takes his dog for like a little jog around the community. He's got like a mongoose mountain bike, and he's got a big ass like golden retriever or something. And the dog's like just trotting right next to him. Looks happy and healthy.
Fine.
It looks great. I haven't seen any of these ones that's like hard, hard to keep the bike up because they're going so slow. He's cruising, and the dog loves it.
All right. That's it bothers me.
Yeah, no, it's totally a trivial thing that bothers you. I was just defending it for the sake of I've seen a kid, and I appreciate that he's getting out there and taking his dog for that's because there's something to be learned there. We have Hayden take the dogs out to go to the bathroom every day. That is his job. He basically takes them out, cleans up the poop, and feeds them. And that is a morning and a night thing. And if the dogs need to go out several times at night, he does that. And that's his responsibility, right? Because when I look at what these other kids have for responsibilities and what he had, the kid had nothing. So we were really struggling. Like there was an article that was like, what do you have your kids do for chores? And it was this crazy fucking list. And I was looking at some of the shit, like I never had any of that. My mom never made me do like any fucking chores, maybe take the trash out once in a while. And so it was super foreign to me. And I wasn't sure like how much are we supposed to be allowing him or telling him to do? Like what should his chores be? So we compromised on the dogs, and then like he cleans his toilet. But for the most part, he doesn't really have any fucking chores.
Yeah, we do a chore time after school every day, and it's always like on the fly, like what's our chore for the day? So like they have to do something. And that could be anything from we just folded all your clothes, you need to hang them up and put them away, or the front living room needs picked up because it's all kids' toys, or we just pick something every day, and then usually they're supposed to during media break time before dinner they're supposed to pick up their rooms too. That we're trying to make it. We always have a cycle where their rooms just like get to like a fucking shithole level, and then we do this big 4-hour aggravating deep clean.
Yeah,
but we're trying to get them more in the habit of, we're talking about putting a TV in the boys' room so they can play video games in their room and stuff like that. Because my father-in-law gave us an old TV. It's got an arm for the wall and stuff like that. But we were like, we are not doing anything in your room until you guys can show us that you're keeping it consistently clean. And that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So
I have a spare TV in the basement. I'm always like looking for people to try and give this TV to. So you said something about putting a TV in there, and I'm like, do you need one? So I don't know why I have this fucking spare TV.
Does Hayden get an allowance?
No, but we're about to start, I think.
See, we do an allowance, but they understand that part of that is chores.
What do they spend their allowance on though? Like what the
Well, that's an issue. Because it's like every week I want to buy V-Bucks, and we're just like, look, we got to the point where it was like, no, like you're not going to get your allowance and immediately spend it on in-app purchases every week. So we've started a new thing where they're not allowed to spend their allowance every week. Like it's like once at the end of the month or something like that. And they are also only allowed, or no, maybe we're not doing that part. They're only allowed to get a digital purchase like once a month or something like that, just because it's just, we're trying to teach them good spending habits and saving and stuff like that. And, the two of us aren't that good at it anyway. So,
yeah, neither are we.
But
we're not either. And that was the same thing with Hayden. He wanted to buy fucking V-Bucks, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna buy this new emote. I'm like, you are paying real world physical currency
so you can dance
so that your fucking character can do a different dance.
I've had this argument.
Oh my god.
But then I get to the point where I realize like it's just a different cultural thing. Like what was the stupid thing that I was begging my mom to buy?
You tell me.
She was like, oh no, I'm not. I'm just thinking like,
have you figured it out?
No.
I've been trying to think of what the equivalent was for me.
Where I'm like begging for something that my mom felt was completely irrelevant or
mine was probably spray
pointless.
Paint to vandalize something.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
Because when I was like Rowan's age probably. So when I was like 11 years old, that's when I started getting into music. So I was spending all my money on CDs. I would ride my bike to Best Buy and buy a new CD once a week or once every 2 weeks.
There was a store on, I don't know if it was Hamilton or Bryce. It was called the Record Connection. Do you remember this place?
No, because that must have been before my time. I moved here when I was 18.
All right, but no, they were around after that. It was like the place where you could get the music we were looking for. You know, you couldn't get it like Media Play and Best Buy and shit like that. Yeah. The other one was Magnolia. Mm-hmm. Like those were the two. And I'd go out the Record Connection and buy decals. Like when decals started becoming a thing.
Oh yeah.
You spend $7 on
those
a fucking
the ones that you put on in
the transfers. Yeah. That's what I used to spend like fucking random money on.
So they used to sell the shit out of those at Hot Topic when I worked there.
I remember when Hot Topic wasn't around here and like you'd have to order it offline, and then Hot Topic got stores, and it was like it was a little, I don't want to say it was past my time, but it was to the point where like I wasn't into that shit anymore per se. And then they started getting like all the scene band shirts, and then I started having to go to Hot Topic again.
The funny thing about Hot Topic is like I do have a love-hate relationship with it. I've always thought the store was pretty stupid. Obviously, the trip pants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But and I didn't have one in Grand Rapids growing up. We had a Gadzooks, and that was it.
Yeah.
And there was a Hot Topic like that came in like maybe my senior year of high school, but it was on the other side of town, and by that point I was like getting really into emo and stuff like that. So
I feel like it's a very similar story as to what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what the funny other part though is I needed a job, and I was walking through Polaris and saw a sign that said we were opening a new location at Easton and need a staff, apply within or whatever. And I literally, as a smug scene kid, 19 years old, was like, I'm gonna apply for this job to be funny because could you imagine working at Hot Topic? And I did that. And I handed him my application, and he interviewed me on the spot, and he hired me halfway through the interview. And but the funny part is like that place became. I still thought the store was always really silly, and I still do. But it became such a big part of my life. I worked there for a really long time. I left, and I got fired from another job, and I came back, and like I worked there for a really long time, and I got involved in the Columbus hardcore scene from working there. Because Mary Heisel was my boss.
No,
I got plugged in with all the straight edge and DMC guys because I worked at Hot Topic. I met all the ringworm guys because I worked at Hot Topic, and Danny used to come in all the time. It's so weird. And then I see what's that band? Like Moths to Flames or whatever.
Yeah, they practice here.
Those motherfuckers. I remember when those kids were like 12, 13 years old, they would come into Hot Topic and they would hang out, and we had to kick them out because they would hang out too long and they were annoying as fuck. And, it's just like, it's so funny. I'm like the attack guys, the same thing, it's like they were all little kids, and it's just weird. It's weird looking back on that time because it is funny because I worked at Hot Topic and then I left there and I went to work at Urban Outfitters. So I went from like, something I always thought was tongue in cheek into like tongue in cheek in the other direction in this ultra hip way. It's just really weird. It's just I have this weird love-hate relationship with Hot Topic.
I want to go back to something.
Go.
What job did you get fired from?
It was the the CCS skateboard catalog.
Yeah. So
they had a call center up in Westerville.
Mm-hmm.
That was they were owned by that Alloy, the women, the girls, teen girls catalog clothes.
Really?
Called Alloy or something like that. And there was another one. Anyway, but they were owned by that, so it was all the same call center. But then there was like the CCS skateboard guys that were like these two cubicle areas in the back corner of the room, and there was all of these like stoner kids who were always late to work and stuff like that. Anyway, I worked there for a minute with one of my bandmates in Symphony Apparel. And do you know Todd Man?
No.
Big guy, DMC. Yeah. He was always on the road with Symphony Apparel. He was like one of my best friends, and he worked there too. And it was just a place where we went to work and just fucked off all day and answered phone calls and sold skateboards to kids who were calling in with their parents' credit cards, so we could sell them anything because they just had their parents' credit cards. You know, these are a bunch of rich suburban kids, and I got fired from there because they were cracking down on just people being up to policies, like the procedures and stuff like that. So like one of my friends got fired. I'm not going to say which one, but one of my friends got fired because he was because we could do anything we wanted in the system. So he was shipping shit to himself through his friend's address and stuff like that. You know, so he got fired for doing stuff like that. But then my bandmate and I, well, I guess I already said who it was. It was Todd. But my bandmate and I, we got fired because Symphony Apparel had a show in Germany. And so we had a flight there and back, and we forgot to take off the dates. And we have like a shift book, you know, you could write shifts in and people would take them, and they were almost always gone within like 3 or 4 minutes. We put our shifts in there and got back and found that nobody took our shifts, and we both had 2 no shows in a row, and we were fired. And I'll never forget, I was like 19 years old or something like that. And I was just figuring out this stuff, and I had never been fired from a job before. I remember calling my dad, and I was just like bawling my eyes out. I was like, I got fired. Can you come pick me up? And came and picked me up. And that afternoon, I went right back to Hot Topic, and I was just like, can I, do you need any help? It was demotion because I was a manager before, and I came in as a sales associate when I came back.
I wonder what percentage of people our age, especially from like our backgrounds and cultures, worked at a fucking call center. Because my first jobs, all my first jobs were call centers.
In Columbus, it was also because I was right around that age where our whole age group was starting to get jobs like that. In Columbus, it was that call tech or something. That was like where all the freaks went.
Yeah.
All the Alrosa
You know
folk.
why? Because there was like a joke that was like, if you're breathing, you can get a job there. And everybody that was going on tour, this is what everyone did, okay?
Hold on a second.
I'm waiting.
Oh boy.
What?
I'm just getting texts. Our neighbor, the kids were down the street at a neighbor's house, and the mom texted Sierra and I saying that Miles and Rowan were fighting and screaming and stuff like that, and she's just sending them home. I guess they hit each other with a broom or something. I don't know.
Jesus. See, my wife listens to this podcast, and she's been like, kind of joking, like, oh, here's some good names for kids. Like, giving me that, like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, let's have a third kid. And I just want to be like, no. Because, like, you see what happens. Like, I feel like 3 is where everything changes. And you could obviously testify to this. I feel like you can't, I have a Hyundai. Like, you need a different type of vehicle when you have 3 kids, especially if you have 2 of them that have car seats. What am I going to do? Cram a 10-year-old between 2 car seats? Yeah. So anyway, so this is this was the hustle that everyone did to that call tech place. You got paid your full wage per hour to go through training, and they fucking hired everybody. So all you did was, before you left for tour, nobody had real jobs, to get some money for tour. You go, you apply, you start with whatever project they put you on, you go through the 2-week training, and then you leave. And then you just got paid to sit in class all day and not really do shit. They changed the policy because so many people did that. They changed it to where, like, you only got like $40 a day or some shit like that. And people were still
So people were literally just going through training and then quitting?
Over and over. The same people.
Wow.
They would say, like, I can't do this, or it's not right for me, bad time, whatever. They'd leave. And dude, Calltech would hire them back like months later.
Does that place still exist?
Yeah, but it's got a new name now.
Oh.
Teleperformance.
That makes more sense for 2019, I guess.
So I may or may not have worked there.
So you have.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that was like my first sit down phone job post the band. Like, we played the what do you call that? Warped Tour Stop Here. We played that, and I wanted to quit before that, but I wanted to get into that for free and go see the other bands and shit. So post that, I quit, and then I think maybe 3 weeks later, I was working at that place.
How'd you land the Warped Tour gig?
Some kind of fucking online
like a
contest thing. It was like us and one other band from Ohio that got on that stop. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Played on the stage with Bowling for Soup. What's up? I think there's a whole video like start to finish. Like, who all's there? A bunch of kids you would recognize, like from the hardcore scene. There's a ton of them, all in like the pit and shit.
Hilarious.
Yeah. But I also worked for a place doing magazine subscription renewals.
Ugh.
Yeah, no. You would think, right? I had a friend who worked there, and I said, look, I'm not cold calling people and trying to fucking sell them magazines. Like, I can't do that. And they're like, it's not really that. It's people that already have magazines. They already have these subscriptions, but their renewal date's coming up. And it's just getting them to renew. And I'm like, okay. Like, it's actually really good money. If you're like even remotely good at it, it's good fucking money. It's probably the best per hour you've ever made. And so they tell me, and I'm like, all right, cool. I can do that shit. The catch was they only let you work maximum of 25 hours a week because no health benefits and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that sounds like a benefit too. You're telling me I can make decent money and not have to work a whole week? I'm like, sign me the fuck up. So I get that job and I'm calling for places like Woodworker's Journal. And then all of a sudden one day it pops up. It's like Playboy. And I was like, oh shit. And then let me tell you, those are the hardest sells. You'd be surprised because most of the time when you call, you get like the spouse or significant other.
Oh.
And you're like, hi, I'm calling on behalf of so-and-so. Like the name pops up on the screen.
Yeah.
And I just want to renew their magazine. Are they around? They're like, what magazine? Well, it's
Hustler.
It's a magazine I should probably discuss with them. No. But you could always count on like Highlights for Children and Woodworker's Journal and Bon Appetit. Like those were ones where it was a no-brainer. Like they
Ranger Rick.
Is that from Highlights?
It was a National Geographic.
Oh.
It was a young preteen kids nature magazine.
Did you get that shit or something?
Yeah.
Why?
And there was even, because I was a kid.
Yeah, but did you get Highlights?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. Highlights was the one you were supposed to get, but you got some nature shit.
Yeah, I got Ranger Rick, and then the National Geographic had one for even littler kids called My Big Backyard.
Wow.
Yeah, my brother got that one.
You literally got like the Christian household versions, and I got the just run of the mill, just standard
Penthouse.
Yeah. No, my brother had Playboy. I found him. We talked about it before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew where all the good shit was. That's how I learned about like Anna Nicole Smith and Jenny McCarthy and fucking Pamela Anderson.
We were literally just talking about Anna Nicole Smith today. Sierra and I were talking because we were talking about her that product she had, Trim something. I can't remember what it was now.
Trim Spa.
I
feel like that's it.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
is. Yeah, that's what it was. We were talking about that this morning.
Why do I know that?
I don't know.
See, I wasn't just looking at her for her looks. I was listening to what she had to say.
Trim Spa, baby. Remember?
Oh yeah, that is what it was. Yeah. I never really liked Anna Nicole Smith. She wasn't my type. I was a big fan of Pamela Anderson back then.
I was into Jenny McCarthy.
Dude, Jenny McCarthy's on that. Have you seen the show The Masked Singer?
Yeah.
Then you know she's on that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool show. I won't lie. Like I sit there and watch it and I'm like, I don't know. I want to guess everybody. I haven't figured out anybody.
It is still weird to me. You would think there would be some sort of like muffling of their voice, at least a little bit. And they sound super crystal clear.
Well, only when they sing though. When they cuz post the performance.
No, I know, but like when they sing, you would still think it would still, because you're still inside a thing. You know what I mean? Even if it is like
the screen.
I don't know. It just seems like there would be a lot of muffling. But
I will say that I've been a little suspect on that as well, because they're 2 seasons in, right? And thus far, I haven't heard any like this, like rubbing on the screen or anything.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything like that. But one of the last episodes, some kind of stage. There was some kind of stage light or some shit like malfunctioned, and the woman got shocked and did actually stop singing during that part, and then picked back up. So she missed like 2 words, and I said, "Oh, it is real."
Wow.
Like, because I've been under the impression that they were putting on a show, and this shit was like really them singing, but studio version. Because what the fuck? Like, how are so many people good at singing? Like, everybody's pretty okay at singing. Like, there's some that are amazing, and then some that are just okay.
How was everybody so good at it?
Like, how is everybody okay at singing? Especially the motherfuckers that were out there. Like, it's like football players and everything else. I'm like, y'all aren't, like, you're not that, how is everybody so, like, that gifted?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm still suspect on it. If somebody knows the answer, tell us. We're at 1 hour. We're doing pretty good. I feel like we should maybe wrap this up in 15 minutes and just stick with these whole like hour and 15 minute.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I keep thinking about having to jump my fucking Jeep. Keep having to. I keep like, I've checked out of that world for a while and then come back. Oh yeah, the Jeep's still not working.
So, on more than one occasion, when I have had to jump something, I always have to look up how to do it.
You know, there's an order.
There is,
but it's not like gospel.
No, I know it's not, but still. I think I've told you this before. Not many things like freak me out when it comes to maintenance and or repair. One of them has always been any type of getting shocked. So like electricity or like batteries. I get the worst fucking anxiety in the winter. Like when it's like time to start getting shocked by the doorknob. You know what I'm talking about. Like everybody gets shocked by the doorknob. And when it comes wintertime and the heat's on and the shit starts happening, you'll see me come to the doorknobs and go, and like tap it real quick because I have the worst anxiety about getting shocked by doorknobs or anything. So batteries are another thing. They make me, I don't know, they freak me out.
No, and car batteries are pretty intense. And
pretty juicy. Not yours.
Touch those things together. You know.
Yeah, make the sparks. Can't that fuck up your battery though?
I don't know.
There's a lot of rules. I don't think anybody follows, but there are a lot of.
But it's just, you know, you're supposed to just do it in order and then reverse order when you take it off. But it's really like some people put the ground on the metal on the car. Some people put the ground on the battery itself. You know, like it's just some people do it differently. And
yeah.
I
think it's supposed to be the car.
One of our friends is gonna come in here and DM us and be like, "You're idiots. You're gonna fuck your car up if you don't do it this way every time."
I can tell you, it'll be. We'll for sure get some. We'll get some DMs. Brian. He seems to fucking, every time we start talking about man shit, he knows all the man shit. Ben, who I've mentioned several times. Matter of fact, Ben reached out. I think we're going to have him on. I can't remember when. Maybe I put it on the board here. Oh, the episode on the 27th. Damn, I'm wondering if we should reschedule that because that's still during Sober October for you.
Is he a drinker?
I mean, everybody is.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. If not, we'll push it out once. Oh, and I did get a hold of Josh. And we are going to do one with Josh as well. So cool. Starting to actually line some guests back up. So yeah, just to put this out there now before we get over there, I'm not touching any of that shit. I will pull my car up. I'll give you the jumper cables. You got to do it.
That's fine.
One, I have a white shirt on.
It's a crispy.
It does look crispy. This is one of those fucking Walmart shirts, man. It's like good around the arms.
It looks brand.
It's not.
New.
It's not. It gets washed with all the black clothes.
Wow.
It just, dude, I'm telling you, there's nothing like these shirts.
I feel like my white shirts touch my other clothes and just turn dingy.
I don't separate into white clothes.
I don't either.
The only thing I do separate is I put like work clothes differently because I dry them and I want to immediately take them out. But like socks, underwear, regular clothes, like if they stay on the dryer for a day, fuck them. But work clothes, no, they got to come right out. Well, when I say work clothes, I mean button-ups and shit.
Not Carhartts.
No. Nah, dog, my Carhartts can stay in there for a week. I ain't got no fucking Carhartts. I'm ready to start selling gear, Collin.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Just anything I'm not using. I think I have like a 5152. I have a Mesa cab. I've got several guitars. I like that one guitar over there, the EC1000. Like I sometimes forget I have it until I show up and it's just there, and I'm like, oh, that's mine. I've never played that at a show. I've maybe played it a few practices.
Really?
Yeah. I bought it as a backup to my other guitar. Got it as a really good deal. I had another EC1000 because they hold low tunings like extremely well. Well, the other one could accept a string at like a 60. That's a pretty fucking beefy string. I mean, there are 7 strings that don't come with 60s on them. That one will not. The tuner is just different. Like the tuning head at the top, it just doesn't accept the same thing. So I can only put like a 54 or 56 through that. And so it wasn't like a direct 1-to-1 replacement.
Weird, because my EC400, I think it's got 72s on it.
72s?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll buy new tuning. They'll buy like the tuning heads from like a 7-string and put the top 6, right?
Yeah, see, I use Slinky 7s and just throw away the high string.
Yeah. So people do the same thing with their tuning knobs. But for whatever reason, I can't get a fucking 60 through that one or whatever I was trying to use. And then I switched to Ibanez guitars. So then I bought a couple Ibanez guitars and I just have never looked back. I don't use my EC stuff at all. So I have like the black and silver, like silver burst one at home with active, like the EMGs.
Oh, 1000 as well?
Yeah. Yep. So they're both 1000s.
81 and 85 EMGs?
Yeah.
And what's in this one?
Passive.
Oh.
Whatever comes with it, I don't even know.
Yeah, my EC400's got the EMGs in it.
Yep. And then the 2 Ibanez, the one Ibanez has the bare knuckle pickups and the other one has whatever the DiMarzio, I think it is, that they built for the Iron Label guitars. It might not even be, I can't even fucking remember. But we played them last time and you hear the huge difference between those 2 guitars.
For sure.
All I'm going to play from now on are going to be either the bare knuckle stuff or the Fishman Fluence pickups. And then, I got all kinds of other random shit. Collin, shit, you got some of my gear.
I do.
You have like 2 things, right?
I actually was playing with that Tube Screamer tonight actually, with my EC400, and I got it sounding pretty gnarly.
Does that give you the small one?
Yeah.
That has the same chip in it from the original Tube Screamers, like the Japanese chip. I don't know what the fucking J whatever numbers it is. It's got the same chip in it, so it sounds pretty good. But I have another Tube Screamer. If you like to tinker with things, this one has a little bit of fucking static on one of the pots, but you can take it and tinker with it. All right. Did you gave me a trivial thing, right?
Yeah. People walking their dogs
That's
on
right.
their bikes.
And I defended it. But
and I backed down.
All right, let's just wrap up for the day. I literally don't have much going on. I've been just such a homebody.
The last 3 weeks to 4 weeks of my life have just been so exhausting. At home, I've just been kind of like, so
yeah.
I got nothing.
I know. That's the same with me. Oh, I have one more thing. It dawned on me. I meant to tell you this. There's a really good taco place up by me.
Oh, yeah?
It's by work, actually. It's called Tula Taqueria. You got to try this shit.
Generally, if the place is taqueria in the name, it's good.
Yeah, this place is fucking really good. And the owner, works in there. Whenever I've aired any grievances with anything, whether it's their, online ordering, he's also apparently the guy that, does the website. This dude does fucking everything. So one thing that annoys me about the website is every time I try to place an online order, you got to do it 45 minutes to an hour out. And that's fucking crazy when I'm just trying to get some, I have this expectation because of Chipotle, right? Where your shit could be 10 minutes away.
And you're the kind of guy who will say something about it.
Well, I just asked. I said, because they're also across the street from me. It's so fast to get there. I should just walk over or call.
I was going to say, don't they have a phone number?
They do. So I asked him, I said, is there any particular reason why your online ordering is it's always bare minimum, an hour or 45 minutes? He goes, yeah, it's because I have a shitty online ordering system. He's like, just real as shit. And he goes, I'm in the process of upgrading it. I was like, oh, okay. He was like, I've got the new one all set up. I just need to drop it onto the website. And I was like, oh.
There it is.
Very nice. But you got to try this place. I think I've had it once a week for the past, I don't know.
Tula's?
Yeah, Tula. And I've been eating it a lot. And my wife wanted tacos yesterday, and we fucking got condado. And I'm finally I'm ready to just say I am comfortable never going back to condado. I'm serious.
I like it a lot, but it is just not Mexican food.
It's not. And I've given it at least 10 chances. And
Wow.
every single time, we threw half our tacos away. I got 3 tacos. She got 3 tacos. We got 3 different ones each. And everybody always tells me, oh, don't build them yourself. That's where you're going wrong. You're trying to build them yourself. Let them or buy the curated tacos. Fine.
No, fuck that.
Well, I started off only making them myself. And then I did this hybrid where it's like I made 2 and I would always buy 1 off the menu. Yesterday, I got all 3 off the menu and all 3 were just garbage. I ate the whole first one. I don't remember what it was. Next 2, I ate half of each of them and was like, I'm fucking throwing these out.
Speaking of tacos, I had the
surprise
at the airport in Milwaukee at that Miller's Tavern, you know,
Miller's Ale House.
Yes,
is that it? Yeah, it's a chain.
Yeah, and this is Milwaukee, you know, where Miller Coors is, and I got these tacos on the menu, and my God, it was the worst. They were the worst. They were like flour tortillas, but then it was like barbecue beef brisket with no sort of Latin American seasoning at all. It was like barbecue brisket.
Yeah.
And then there was like some cheese and just chopped up iceberg lettuce. And then there was like a cilantro lime aioli that was pretty dang good, but it couldn't save. And then there was like a corn salsa. It was just so many ideas in one place. Then on brisket, it was gross.
That's how I feel about condado. Again, I'm done. I'm just ready to throw in the fucking towel on condado.
I'll believe it when I see it. 10 chances.
Dude, it's at least. The first time I ever had condado, and I don't even know if it was condado. I'm pretty sure they have either a sister store or a location up near Cleveland. What is that suburb? What's like the hip suburb up there? Lakewood. Does condado have a location there?
I think so.
Okay. That's the first one I ever went to. And I was kind of like, okay. I dig the whole sit down, order at your table, give me your little piece of paper. Like, that's kind of cool. I dig that. And then I started getting the ones here. And I've had all of the ones here. I've had the Short North, the Downtown, the fucking Polaris. I've had them all. Is there another one?
Easton.
I didn't have that one. That's where all the good shit lives. And I'm just done. That's it, man. This is me.
Usually you know that sort of thing after like the 3rd time.
Well, because everyone seems to fucking like it. And that's why I was like, I'm just giving it chance after chance, just thinking I'm getting the wrong thing.
I just had to take my mind out of it. I'm getting some weird American idea of it. I still stand by the thing. I do think it is just elevated Taco Bell. It really is. Like they have their version of a cheesy gordita crunch.
Yeah, it's the double shell thing,
right? It's what is all the garbage we can put in a taco shell and you'll like it.
Well, you started saying like it's a bunch of things that don't belong together for the Milwaukee place or Miller Ale House or whatever. And that's how I felt about this one. I was eating the taco and I'm like, what the fuck am I eating? Like it was like pulled pork, but with like a jackfruit barbecue sauce and mango habanero salsa and shit. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on in my mouth right now? Anyway, Miller Ale House.
That's what she said. All right, we need to end this.
Yeah, Miller's Ale House, I think, is from Florida originally.
Oh.
If they're not from Florida, then that's the first place.
All I know is that we're not going to get any Condado endorsements anytime soon. Fuck Condado.
Fuck Condado.
Episode 28.
Peace.